if a family doesn't believe in you, back you up, then what are you doing? I mean, if you don't have kids, it could be your spouse, and if you don't have a spouse, you got to find out. Everybody has a family of some sort, and you got to support them. They need to support you. You need to have that love. You got to have faith in what you're doing. You got to have faith in God. Maybe it is whatever your God is. You got to have faith.
How much has God done for you?
I was going down a crazy path in high school. Drugs, so on, so on, so on. And I
on my $1 million hustle. It's the $1 Million Hustle Podcast, where we keep it real, I stated entrepreneurship wisdom. Learn to think like a millionaire and hustle like you're broke. Here's your host, Billy the Kid, aka Billionaire. Think like a millionaire and hustle like you broke. This free game to change your life, you better so. Think like a millionaire and hustle like you broke.
Welcome to the $1 Million Hustle Podcast, baby. It is your boy Billy the Kid, aka BDK. I am excited, man. We just got done doing an interview with Ted Kaasch. It was amazing. So much wisdom in there, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to it. Shout out to everything, man, that he's doing. The REIA group and investing, business. So I can't wait for you guys to dive in and just listen to this amazing interview. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about this interview, so I'm just excited to finally have it out. But other than that, before we get on this interview, make sure you guys go check out my music. From Generational Curses to Generational Wealth. The album is out now. I'm working on part 2. Maybe by the time this comes out, it's already out, but just go check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever music is available. I have some crazy stuff. I have an album with Cat G dropping Good Intentions. We just released a music video to Gucci Chanclas. Go check that out. And just busy. We got part 2 for different albums that I released before. So I'm just going to keep dropping on them. I got a Spanish album coming, or it's already out. Again, by the time this is it, just go follow my music pages. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where I'm posting all my stuff. Other than that, guys, any lending, New Era Lending is open for business, hard money loans. If you're looking at doing your next flip or any real estate holding, whatever it is that you're doing in your real estate career, just hit me up. New Era Lending. We do hard money loans. I would love to make something happen with you. New Era Construction LLC.net if you're looking for some remodeling. And then I think that's it, guys. Grab my book too, The Power of Being Uncomfortable, baby. So with that being said, I just don't want to do this long intro, man, because we got a lot of fire on this interview, and I want you guys to listen to it. So here is Ted Kaasch, baby. Let's get it. Vámonos. Welcome to the $1 Million Hustle Podcast, baby. It is your boy Billy the Kid, aka BDK. I am super excited today. This is the first time I smoke a cigar in my own podcast. So
I haven't smoked a cigar on the podcast. I'm getting more excited.
Light it up, man. Light it up.
It's fun.
And actually, we were just talking about cigars and stuff. So I offered it, and I think you're smoking one from either Mexico or Puerto Rico, which is kind of cool. And I just keep it very simple, just my acid. It sounds bad how when you're like, I'm going to smoke some acid right now.
Hey, it's my #1 selling cigar in the world, just so you know.
But Ted, thank you so much, man, for making the time. I've been looking forward to this. We've talked about this for a while, actually.
Years.
I have the exact date if you want me to tell you. It's funny because one thing I will say, there's a lot of, I'm going to just give you your flowers in this podcast, man, because you do a lot for our community. And I say our as in just Nebraska in general for the real estate. And you're a very humble dude, man. I remember the first time I asked you to be on the podcast, and maybe it was an excuse now that I'm thinking about it, actually. No, but you said, I just don't have enough going on. And I'm like, Ted, really? So anyways, I just want to thank you, man, for being here. At the beginning, I like to go back and just have you kind of give us your quick story of kind of how you grew up. Where were you born, how you grew up, and then kind of how you got into business and real estate.
Yeah. The funny thing is that I think we all have stories to tell, and in humble beginnings, and a lot of us that are telling these stories. I know that I've heard your story and you talk about that. And
Which I've been on your podcast
yeah,
too. And you're a pro at this, right? Like he has his own podcast, and we'll get into all that here in a bit. So
my story does start in Omaha, Nebraska, but our heritage goes back beyond that. My mom is an immigrant from Brazil, and my dad is from the States. Mom had me when she was 16 years old. And I know that we all kind of talk about the past and what we've gone through, but I would never change anything from my start. But I remember literally coming from nothing and mom shoplifting shoes and throwing the old shoes out the windows because my feet were sticking through them. You know what I mean? And those moments impacted me. And my father passed away when I was 11 months old. So I never knew my biological dad. My stepdad's been in my life since, first grade. And so he is dad. So if I ever talk about dad, that's what I'm talking about because I didn't know my dad. And, but, my mom full-heartedly raised me and she was part of every aspect of it. And fast forward to today, she and I are now partners in the real estate world. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. But went into getting into the nightlife industry. I ran a company called Omaha Nightlife with several friends. Ended up becoming a partner in that business. We ended up being the second largest website in the state of Nebraska, getting about 70 million hits on our site a month.
Yep, I remember it.
Do you?
I remember it. Oh yeah.
So we were linking nightlife.
I'm pretty sure I was in one of those pictures or something.
Sure. We were in Kansas City, Lawrence, Colorado.
I didn't know that.
Denver, Orlando,
I thought it was just a
San
local
Diego.
thing. Wow.
So yeah, my job is go to those cities, get them set up. Got to meet a ton of crazy DJs and fun times. Like we were flying in top 20 DJs for events, or bringing LMFAO for an opening party, or I take Nickelback out to a party.
Damn.
Or we throw signing parties with Britney Spears and Saturday Night Live.
That's awesome.
So when I was doing that, I got to meet so many people in the community because one thing that we did to get back was we said anybody that had a charity could advertise on our website for free because we were a party website. Well, doing all those charity events, I started getting to know the police chief and the mayors at the time. I remember we took one mayor in the limo and went partying and dancing with them after one of our
That's awesome.
events because we had this charity, like I said, called Dancing with the Omaha Stars. And I remember, because of these different charity events and things we're doing, it made these connections that I still have today. And
that's awesome.
That's when I started realizing that it's all about the connections.
Was that your first business?
Yeah, I was 21.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and I came on as the first photographer and then ended up being the general manager and then partner in the company. And
so what'd you do before that? Did you go to school? Did you work somewhere?
Yeah, so I was always in sales. And at that time, I was working in a place called Stereo West.
Okay.
And
what do they do?
Car stereo systems, performance parts.
Can you tell me, because I used to be a telemarketer actually. Like I worked at a call center, and then when the government just cracked it down, it became more of a customer service. But at that time, of course, I was young, so like I hated it, right? But now I look back, and even in my music journey, like when I would go sell merch at a show, I would know, like closing statements, like instead of like, oh, do you want to buy a shirt? It's like, hey, what size are you? Right? Like, can you give us some techniques that you learned? Because I think, I hope that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you go back to that job and you're like, oh yeah, I learned that there,
So one thing that I found that I was best with was closing on relationships. And I worked for a company called Thrasher for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I did that right before I got into the housing side of the business or, real estate investing. And they had a whole way to close a deal. But I found when I was in somebody's house, people are letting their guard down, they're being more themselves. And so I would start looking around and find ways that I can connect with a person. Maybe it was a picture on a wall. Maybe it was a sports team. Maybe it was music I saw. But I always wanted to find a way to connect with them.
Yeah.
And maybe I was connecting on a family. Maybe I was connecting on faith. Maybe I was connecting on sports. But I would make sure I had a conversation around that. and it brought down all the barriers and the guards. Yep. And then once you're able to say that they could call you a friend or felt comfortable with you, that you guys had that connection, then the sale just came. And a lot of times you didn't even have to ask for it. Like, what do you want to do next year? And that was how I sold. I sold in relationships.
Yeah.
I was in the car industry for a couple years. And when I was in the car industry, that first year, I was top salesman 6 times in that first year.
And I would say that's probably one of the biggest industries with sales, right? Where you learn a lot and,
Well, I was the idiot. I thought that you had to go through all these different sales jobs to sell houses. I didn't know a realtor could be a realtor.
You did this on purpose.
Yeah. I was like, if I become a realtor, that's the final sales job.
Oh, wow.
But I thought you had to apply for that
So
job.
how long did you plan this?
I mean, it was always in the back of my head, when I started.
That's awesome, dude.
But I didn't.
That's smart.
But I didn't realize it. It's not smart because I didn't ever go. I could have gotten right into it, but I didn't know because I just didn't. If I was smart, I would have done some investigation.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's all a story, right? And when I was in cars, I sold more double and triple sales than anybody else in my store. So what that means is I was selling a family 2 cars at once or 3 cars.
Yeah.
Because again, I was creating relationships.
Yeah.
And
generational at that point, really.
And the fun part is that in that particular place, they're like, we want you have to come up and price that, go back and forth with the manager 3 times in the sale. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. I knew the numbers. We made the money on the trade-in every time. The new cars didn't have any profit in them.
Yeah.
So I'd like, hey, here's the deal. I would be at the table with them. I'm like, here's the price you're going to get. Because I want a quantity, not,
Right.
And so I'm like, here's the price you're going to get. I have to go up to that sales manager 3 times because that's what they require. So I was just upfront. But if this price doesn't work for you, then don't waste your time and don't waste my time because it isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And so this is the price you're going to be able to get. The trade-in is where the negotiation is. It's all based on what the quality of the product. And so I would just be really upfront with that. And they appreciate it so much that they instantly believed in me. And some people just, I'm not gonna lie, some people just thought I was just talking smack.
Yeah.
That's fine, but that was really few.
Yeah.
And that honesty that I was able to present, really shined through, and it made me get more and more sales.
Yeah.
I just was like, I was just coming out of a job though. I had freedom of being able to go, and I was trapped at a desk and never leave.
So did you go straight to the workforce then? You didn't go to school?
I went to community college for a couple years, and then I went to University of Nebraska Kearney for a year.
Okay.
I had the craziest year that somebody.
Which is nice out there.
It's nice, but I had some stalker dude because he thought I was trying to date his girl. and then,
so you dropped out because of that, or?
Dude, he stalked me. I've never told the story but he stalked me.
Oh, like it was bad.
Yeah. He went and bought the same truck I had a Mustang at the time. He went and bought the same Mustang as me. His dad owned a dealership in a small town. Then ended up kidnapping the girl like 3 times, beat the hell out of her with some big roid rage dude. And then long story short, he the day before we're going to court because he broke into my place, knocked me out, knocked my roommate out, drugged her by her hair down the hallway. Yeah, crazy.
Shit.
We weren't even hooking up. I was not hooking up with this girl. He was just jealous. Long story short, day before court, blew his head off.
Oh my God, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, and that was just like one of the couple stories that was down there.
Well, and I was just
wow.
No, I'm like, wow.
I still have 12 credit hours to finish.
That's what I was gonna say. So was that the reason why you just pulled out then?
It
one of the reasons.
I transferred in as like a B student and I left with like as a D student because all that stuff.
Dude, what the hell?
And I was paying my own way through school, so I was working a full-time job at a place called Video Kingdom, selling car stereo.
Yeah. So you left Kearney.
Yep.
And then you went to Omaha then? Or?
Yeah, then went to Omaha. That's when I worked at Stereo West.
Okay.
I always worked like 6, 7 jobs.
Yeah.
So I had no problem. Like literally at one point, I'm doing photography. I'm doing sales. I'm cleaning office buildings at night. And
that's awesome, dude. You learned a lot of stuff that you use nowadays anyways, right? Yeah. Like your podcast, video, like pictures on So, okay, so let's fast forward then. You said you did sales. What was the first thing that you did in real estate and at what age at that point?
Yeah. So in 2008, uh, my grandma was a lifelong waitress at a place called Bohemian Cafe. And she was looking for different ways to be able to make it because money was getting hard. She's a full-time waitress. And grandma was a big part of my life. She's like my second mom. And with that happening, she needed a little help. I also had some debt piled up, made a deal to buy her house in 2008. So I was like, hey, I will buy your house. I will take care of all your bills. I will pay off all your debt. And
Was this like you had learned already
no,
about?
we just
That's
talked
so
it
crazy.
out.
You just naturally did that.
Yeah, we just figured it out. And there was like the Obama.
And obviously it was your family,
Yeah.
like, but
And it was like that was the first family in my house lived when they came to the country. And it was my childhood home.
okay.
It was on 15th Street in Little Bohemia.
okay.
And so I wanted to make sure that she could sustain the home. So I gave her 20,000, paid off all her stuff. I took the extra money, paid off my debt. And then I took care of her for the next 12 years. So she just recently moved in at the age of 88 with my mom. She's living there. I made the house an Airbnb now.
You still have it.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
promised her to always stay in the family.
That's awesome.
So it's still that was my first parlay
Yeah.
into real estate. But I didn't really do anything else until down the road. So I was working for Thrasher doing foundations. 2015, a gentleman named Mike Schlickburn and his wife Jerry Schlickburn, which I know Mike was actually one of our sales guys at Omaha Nightlife.
So a whole circle there. That's awesome.
And then he goes, hey, can you check out some foundations for us? We're doing some flips. So I'd go check out the foundations for free. And eventually they're like, hey, we know you have your marketing background, your advertising background. Would you want to be our marketing director? And then come into our business. It was a pretty significant pay decrease. But at that point, I was traveling every other week.
Real quick, was there any regret of like the whole school thing
Yes.
during that time? Like while you're going through all these different phases, or I'm assuming you even, since you said, yeah, you probably even thought like, oh, maybe I should go back to school and get a degree for whatever.
It weighs heavy on me because
To this day.
to this day,
Interesting.
because I was the first person in my family to go to college. And
Okay.
I have 12 credit hours still to finish.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I just never finished it. But I own my own companies now, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
And my wife's got 2 master's degrees, so I figure it offsets me.
There you go. Boy, I always make like a joke to my wife. Well, I don't know, maybe someday, but I'm like, maybe I should go become a real estate lawyer or something crazy, Like that would be, I wouldn't mind something like that.
If I was to go right now, I think I would go for some level of marketing and or public speaking.
I like it. I like it.
Because I just joined a Toastmasters group.
Oh, yeah. So you're learning some skills there. I need to do that too.
Yeah.
It's my buddy in Chicago. He's a big like I want to say he's one of the main leaders there at the one in Chicago, or one of the ones there. But actually this was during COVID though, so I actually tried joining the one in Lincoln. And
there's a lot
they
of
were
them.
just doing like Zooms and stuff at that time, with COVID. But I never followed up. But
I just found out there's 45 groups in Omaha.
holy shit.
Do you have any idea?
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was like one per city or something.
No, because they're only allowed to have 25 people max in a group.
Still.
Because
wow.
Because otherwise each person doesn't get a chance to speak.
Dude, that's awesome. That's crazy.
I'm learning so much about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I love that. So what were
reverse backwards?
Yeah. No, it's because your story is so interesting because normally you do hear, but obviously you've been successful. You have your success, your businesses. So obviously it worked out. And I truly believe everybody has a destiny, right? Like, and I think all those different things that happened to you is obviously what molded you into who you are nowadays. So I just wanted to hear that side of the story. Owen, actually, shout out to Owen, your co-host, right, for your podcast. He actually made a point, because I'm very anti-school, the system, and I even tell my girls, like, yo, you don't have to go, but if you go, make sure it's something worth it, And I get some backslash for that.
And what jobs are going to be left with AI going crazy.
Oh my God, seriously?
White collar jobs are going away.
Yeah, seriously. It's a crazy time.
44,000 people got released from jobs this week.
Oh my God.
Between Amazon, Microsoft, and a couple other large companies.
It's crazy. And those were the companies, the new companies that were providing.
They're all the white collar jobs.
Yeah.
They didn't release anybody in the warehouse.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's literally, you just drilled it right there. That's the thing that I told my girls, like college is so anyways, and Owen made a point on the podcast that he said, well, but you meet a lot of cool people there. And I think that stuck with me. I'm like, you know what? That's true. Because like I go back to like just my high school buddies, and that's it. Like I don't have so anyways, I think that was the only thing. I'm like, well, that would have been cool, to meet people. And I know a couple buddies that have their reunions and they go to trips together as older gentlemen nowadays. So anyways, I think that side would have been cool. But
I have my core friends still from high school and my early 20s, and we're still like very close. Our kids are close, but I'm finding that I spend a lot more time with the people in my real estate community.
Okay.
It's like it's my new friends and my people that are lifting up my goals.
Yeah.
And
what are some differences that are you seeing between the two there?
My
and it's a very touchy subject because like it's not like we love, people, right? Mm-hmm. Like and I also think I've had great conversations with the janitor before. Like it doesn't matter how much you make or I've had buddies that they didn't have a car in their early 30s, and they were living at home or whatever. Like I was still friends with them. I was already doing my other stuff, but I think it's very important to, and I'm going to give you my point. I want to hear your point because I think it's very important that you do have to kind of get out, it's that comfortable zone, right? The comfort zone, we'll call it, of those same friends, and you're going to be doing the same thing, right? You have to get out of that to go to that next level. I think we'll say every year you kind of shed that next level. And the thing is, I also have people from back then that are still friends now that they're doing really good and we level each other up, right? We push each other. So, but I think it's super important to be mindful of that and make sure that you get out of that square, right? Like that circle. And, Snoop Dogg had this video. I don't know if you've seen it on social media that he just keeps pointing. He's like, we're here where we grow up in high school, right? Like for your instance, and then here I am, right? Making moves, making money. Well, there's this gap that goes, right? And in order for us to be the same, I have to do this. He's like, no, instead, how about you do this, right? Like you go up. But he's like, but they don't want that. Yeah. They're just happy with where they're at. So I want to hear your point because I think it's a touchy subject and it's very important, very crucial.
Well, like I said, I have a good group of core friends. There's a couple of them that completely fallen off, mainly drugs. Mm-hmm. We've had one recently that was one of my closest friends forever. Yeah. And he's gotten into meth. He did an armed robbery in the last couple months.
Oh, wow.
And he's looking at prison time, and probably the best thing for him. I hate to say it because there's nothing that's been able to get him sober, and then we've had other friends that have gone, depression, they've just kind of fallen off. I've always tried to be a friend, but there's, I also don't want that around my kids.
Exactly.
Or my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but we still have our core, like 4 or 5 guys, and they are all successful in their own right, which is really cool. One of them's got a really successful insurance company. The other one's really successful in sales and generators. Another one is a very successful, he's a professional gambler, and they are all doing very well. But we're all just gone different ways. Yeah. But we still get together and we do guys trips and stuff like that too.
That's awesome.
And our kids are really close. And so another one of my friends had a really successful medical staffing company, sold it for a large amount of money, and has been able to invest that into real estate and other things too. So some of these, there's some overlapping now starting to happen.
Yeah.
But but it's just different because it's not like any of them are coming to my real estate meetups.
Right.
One does, Marty McGuire. I'll give him that. Blackstone Insurance.
Okay.
He comes to this stuff. He's super successful, and because we were able to overlap. Like 60% of his book of business is now from my group.
That's awesome.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I mentioned Mike Schlickburn. Mm-hmm. Mike was one of those core guys. He brought me into his circle, and that's the reason I got into this. At one point, like you said, you had me come on as his marketing guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, over the next 5 years, I had my hands in over 400 flips between 2015 and 2020. Because I went from their marketing guy to getting my real estate license. I literally, Jerry Schlickburn,
Mm-hmm.
I sat on a desk like this on the other side because they had a house as their office, and there was no space for me.
Oh.
So I sat at a desk in front
Dang.
of Jerry for 6 to 9 months, absorbed everything that she had to say, and then I ended up running her book of business for her. And then I ended up being the office manager, and then I ended up getting my real estate license. Then I got my real estate broker's license, and then I became partners, and then they gave me half of their company. And so we grew together.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for them bringing me on and having that opportunity, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about like the new, we'll call it quote unquote, like the new friends, right? Like in the real estate community and stuff. What has that done for you? Yo, we'll be right back to this great episode of the $1 Million Hustle podcast. Before we continue, I want you to go grab a copy of my book, The Power of Being Uncomfortable. It is out on Amazon. It is out on Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, Target.com, and everywhere else books are available. The great news, guys, is you could go to BillyTheKid.com and grab an autographed copy. That is right. I'm going to mail you an autographed copy right now. Audiobook is also available on Audible, and everywhere else audiobooks are available. So go listen to it. Go grab yourself an autographed copy, and I'll see you on the other side, baby. And now back to this great episode of the $1 Million Hustle podcast.
You mentioned him, Owen Dashner. Honestly, I thought he was a real prick when I first met him in the meeting. He knows that. And he's real cocky. And I think he had a realization moment of relationships, networking. And he went from being like holding everything close to the vest to being one of the most open and one of the closest people in my life. And, one of my best friends. And we started a podcast together, and things have just grown huge. And also I can bounce off anything with him, so, if I have a question, if I'm looking at something, he's a phone call away. And so that is one example of what this new circle is.
Yeah.
I'm buying a car wash right now. There's a gentleman named Axel Foley, and Axel's got a ton of stuff going on, but he also has a car wash that he built. He also ran car washes and built tunnels and stuff. So I was able to call him, get his advice on this purchase, and as we're growing, we use those resources and those people, but they also use us too. So, there's a lot of give back and forth. And then out of those business relationships, then your wives meet, your kids meet, and these other friendships start blossoming. And these will be friends for life. And also, people that I look up to.
No, I love it. Love it. So let's fast forward then. So we talked about your first deal. Where are you at now in real estate? Where's everything?
I think if I can backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, please.
So I would, as part of going into real estate, I started going to networking events.
Okay.
And I joined
so at this point you only had the one house, or?
Yeah. From 2015 to 2019, I had one property.
Okay. The one.
Yeah.
The one. Okay.
And then I was networking, going to a lot of events, and I reached out. I talked to a guy named Andy Kosich. He was running.
But your goal was to grow a portfolio.
Not yet.
Get it.
I always thought I'd get into it.
Just soaking it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was waiting for the moment. I also didn't understand the power of hard money.
Oh, okay.
And that was life changing when I finally understood what you can do with hard money. But 2019,
which I would love to talk about that later.
Yeah. 2019 comes, and I reached out to Andy, and I was reading a book or listening to a podcast, and it says, join your local REIA groups. But if there isn't a REIA group, start one. And the power is in owning a group. So I went to Andy, who was running local REIA, and I was like, hey, dude, and you talked about retiring to Florida. And I was like, if you ever retire, keep me in mind. I'd love to take your group over. Semi-joking, semi-serious. He hits me up like 12 months later, and he goes, by the way, you're the only person that's ever said that. He goes, we're going to retire to St. Pete, Florida. He goes, do you want to talk about buying our group? And at the time, they had 72 members.
So it was already going, and
it was established in 07.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's go. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, we got to buy a rental house. Otherwise, nobody's going to take me seriously if I got to stand in front of people and talk about real estate investing. I go, if I don't have a portfolio, this isn't going to work. So she's like, great, let's do it. So I found a condemned house in 2019, condemned for 7 years.
Your wife always supported you?
No,
Because you made it sound like it right now.
No,
She's like, yeah, come on, let's do it.
no, she came from a very both her parents are in insurance. Very
well, she has 2 masters, so that tells me like she's very focused, right? Like,
very focused.
Which is there's nothing wrong. I think I'm sure. I
balance
want to
each
hear
other.
both, yeah, and I want to hear both, right? Like the pros and cons of kind of and how you guys have built, because I think it's another crazy subject out there, right? Like there's some wife husband that they're not even on the same page.
No.
There's some that are, and you could see it, right? So I want to hear a little bit about that if you don't mind.
So
go ahead and light it up, man. Light it up.
I'm so So in regards to her,
actually, and if you're listening to this, when I say light it up, it's a cigar, right?
we can do the other ones.
Yeah. All fair. No.
But just
THC.
I like
Hemp.
I like those drinks.
Hemp.
But in regards to the wife, I had some business opportunities throughout the start of our relationship. We got married in 2012. And she was really scared of that. So it was really because of her I got into working for Thrasher, working for the car sales place, and doing these other things. But it really wasn't my thing. I like the freedom.
Okay.
And I really struggle with answering to a boss, especially when I feel like they're
you
wrong.
got that in those positions.
Yeah.
Really. So you had that freedom. You know what I mean?
And I had a couple small companies when I was in my 20s, like a limo bus company.
Okay.
And
so you've always had this like entrepreneur bug in you.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. And I discovered that because my mom had a little nail company. She'd go to your house and do your nails. It's called Nails on Wheels. And it was the first person to like go to your home and do that. And so I think that kind of put that in my mind. And they were always trying to look for a business to start. And then my dad and I started a video production company for a little bit. And those didn't.
So there were always something going on. Yeah. I like that.
But so the time came to oh man, where are we at now? Sorry.
I want to hear your wife, husband, pros and cons. And
yes. I'm used to my podcast and I can just say radio. Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm giving you straight here, right? No, I'm saying.
Yeah. So it took some while to get some trust built in my wife. You know, I made some really good sales. She did sales she didn't like because the pay was really high low.
Up and down.
Literally, I'd get a $20,000 paycheck, and then next month I wouldn't get a paycheck. Depending on what I was working on. And the opportunity came.
And that hasn't changed, by the way. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Actually, I created an S corp. I have payroll coming out every
nice.
And so she sees a paycheck coming.
Made sure.
Yes. So, but anyway, bought this house with her permission, and it was my way to prove it. And then by buying this, we made it. Bought the house for $11,000.
In Omaha.
In Omaha.
Okay.
Put roughly 88,000 into it. It appraised, I believe, for like 135. So I did the BRRRR method.
Yeah.
Cashed out, put about 20.
And you did that on purpose too.
Totally on
you
purpose.
Knew that. Okay.
Yep. I was reading David Green's BRRRR book.
Yep. I have that one. Yep.
I think that every new real estate investor, every time I work with somebody new, I said, read this book because this gives you the basic understanding.
Yeah.
Even before I give them Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm like, this is basic.
That's interesting. I like that.
You know, because it's just really.
It's more action packed.
Manual.
Yeah. Because the other one's a general view, which is an awesome book, but we'll talk about that too. But
So we did the BRRRR method, cashed out, got a tenant in there paying like $1,500. Did an Air Force group in there. They were there for like 2 years. And it was time to move, and I went to an Airbnb because I bought out a staging company.
Okay.
So I filled it all up with the staging stuff.
That's crazy.
It had a 4-bedroom Airbnb, and then it was making like 3,000-ish. And so I ended up selling that for $210,000. So that property was
how long? Like 3 years?
I sold that property last year.
Oh, okay.
So that was like the gift that kept on giving.
But yeah. So it was a great example to show her, like, hey, look what I'm doing, right?
Yeah. So then
you would say that built a lot of trust.
Yeah. So then she was like, open the door. She's like, go ahead and start going.
Yeah.
But to fast forward back to the REIA, I felt like as I had this, I had some content to talk about.
Yeah.
And I put a ton of publicity behind it. I was posting pictures as the process, and that way people knew. And it was during COVID, which was really, it gave me a reason to get out of the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm essential.
Yep.
Get me out of the house. So I took over the REIA, And, REIA was now they were doing everything virtual. And Omaha had some leeway in with the COVID rules at this time.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I took over immediately, brought everything back to in person. But then I started live streaming everything, opened our Facebook group up to everybody. And for the next 2 years.
And that was different than what they were doing before.
There's still some REIAs that are still never went back to in person.
Oh.
And I was the only REIA open for a year and a half nationwide.
Wow.
So we became the fastest growing REIA in the country for
That's
2
awesome.
years. So now we have about 440 members.
That's crazy.
Paid members. And we have over 20,000 followers on social media now. And we were able to create a podcast through that. And so that REIA group really ignited a lot of things. Also brought me a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. And networking, to say the least, too.
But I never went in front of a group and said, I'm a realtor. Because we brought in sponsors.
Okay.
And I wanted realtors to come to our group.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about it on the podcast, but to this day, I still never get in front of my group and say I'm a realtor. It's just not what I do. But podcasts, you got to be raw and real.
Yeah.
So you got to talk about everything.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So then during that time, what other deals did you do then? Because I know you got into the Airbnb too, right? Was that kind of what was next after that?
Yeah. So I started finding this niche of buying condemned homes. So everything I bought was condemned. I think my next purchase was a 5-unit, and it should have been condemned. And so it was just a conversion, and it was a single utility, and it's like, okay, well.
Was that where you had the podcast?
Yes, the podcast studio.
Okay, yeah. Nice building, great location.
Yeah, 24th and Benton, and it's even nicer now than it was then. We put a lot more money into that. But that particular property, we put probably about $350,000 in that place.
Oh, wow.
And
it is huge. And it was nice. When I went, it was nice already.
Yeah.
So.
And now it brings in it's on Airbnb in midterm. It brings in $9,200 a month on average.
Oh, wow. For
a property I bought for $140,000.
Wow.
And I just listed that on the market for sale. So we'll see what happens. End up getting in a partnership, I bought like a 4-unit duplex, bought some flips, and then now I kind of really, although I feel like I'm really good at doing these
understanding and knowing exactly
condemned properties.
Yeah.
I just really, with all the regulations, interest rates, government oversight,
tougher,
rental regulations.
Yeah.
Where's Airbnb going to be? At one point, I had 14 Airbnbs going.
Which I feel like Omaha is also a little tougher too, just like the city itself, right? Like building safety and all that.
I heard, I don't know, I can't back this up, but I heard some stat that we were in the top 5 hardest cities when it comes to permits and regulations.
Wow.
Because they're just
I just hear it
terrible.
Grapevine. Yeah, I just hear, I do some hard money lending too, and I hear that, with some of the loans that I've done, that I'll do, that people will come back and they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, but never mind. I'll just keep Lincoln out of here. I live in Lincoln, so Lincoln is great.
I'll tell you what, hard money scares a lot of people.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that.
Let's touch on it.
Because you so you had these few deals. When did you use your first loan? Was it for a flip, or was it for like that deal that you just told me about with the wife? Because
the first deal I paid cash for the upfront because it was
okay. 11. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I did a construction loan with a local bank, and that worked out fine.
Which even I remember the first time I paid for like the first house cash. It's still scary, right? Like when you're like dropping, even though it was only $11,000, it was still scary, right?
Well, the cool thing about construction loan, at least with this particular bank, they did a pre-appraisal.
So you already knew.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And I gave my business plan and my construction plans, and they said, "Great, we'll give you a line of credit for $90,000." Because I owned the house outright and it actually appraised as is, I think for like 60 or so. I would, because it was condemned and everything, but I cleaned it out. That's the key thing when you buy one of these. Before you get the bank in your guys, clean out the property 100%.
So it looks a little better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cut the yard, clean it up, secure it,
Yeah.
and then also they come in.
And I would go as far as even just an appraisal itself, right? Like in general. Like I think people forget that, even like you said, even cutting the lawn. Cutting the lawn makes a big difference. Like, so
And having the power on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they came in and they're like, okay, so since you own the house, we normally because you got to pay 20%. Like, oh, I got this. So I'm gonna I got my windows done. It's 20,000. Okay, well we'll give you 16,000 back in your account, right? Because it's a credit. Well, if you own it outright, the banks a lot of times will say we'll give you 100%. You don't have to play that game.
Yeah.
And that made life really easy.
Yeah.
But my first hard money deal was actually that 5-unit.
Oh, okay.
I was buying it from a wholesaler, and everything was a wholesaler, because it was still legal at the time.
Yeah.
And so I bought it through a wholesaler, and I paid hard money for the deal. But before the deal was even closed, I already went to my bank and started the process of getting a construction loan. So I had the hard money to take it down. I pretty much did a refi, paid back my hard money lender within 30 days, which was really cool. Was able to jump right into a loan with the line of credit.
And they took it as you owned it outright at that point.
Yes.
And that's the key, right?
Well, they did not outright because I had a line on it. So I was doing a refi. So I started to leave 20% in that one.
Okay.
But anyway, so I cashed out though, and I used that hard money as leverage to be able to get the deal done with the wholesaler, stand out from the competition. And then that's what I kept on doing. I kept on getting these properties with the hard money. I'd also get construction loans with hard money going forward. And then I always try to be done with these in 90 days.
Yeah, which I think that's the key right there. Yeah. Honestly, those of you who are listening, like if you haven't done any hard money stuff, that the key is to go in there prepared, because I have some deals that I own, and I just take my time. But then there's deals that I have loans on, and I'm like, oh man, like, and especially hard money, right? Like, what's crazy, Ted, is I'm a hard money lender, but I never used any, like, to grow my portfolio. Yep. And now I see the power of it by other guys doing it with my own lending. But I go back and forth. To this day, I haven't used one yet, but now, if it's, and obviously you grow and it becomes
cash though.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a great venue, but you have to be ready, guys. Like if it's a 6-month loan, make sure that you get it done forget the 6 months. Like if you could do it in 3 months, 2 months, I've seen it in a month, so, but anyways,
but you could, here's the one tip with hard money. And when I work with somebody, I tell them to think like this, because like, 18%, 19%, 21%, or points, however your person does it. I go, you got to take whatever you budget it. So if you think you have it done 90 days, budget 6 months, and then put that right into
like worst case scenario, right?
Yeah, holding whatever.
And I think that's in general, Ted, like especially hard money, but I think in general real estate, you have to think the worst case scenario, because it happens sometimes, guys. Like
it does.
You have to be ready.
It always happens.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd rather win than lose. So I have to figure that number right in my construction costs. It's a construction line item. I don't look at it as a loan line item. It's part of my deal. I have to get this done. And if you look at it as a construction cost, then it just seems a little easier.
Yeah.
And you might change what you're buying or putting into that property because you have this big loan payment you got to make,
Yeah. And we just touched the surface of all the great things that you're doing, because you own a roofing company.
No,
That's still a thing? Okay.
No, I don't.
I know at one point you did, right?
Nope. Never.
Okay.
Nope. Never.
I thought I'd seen it on your card.
I'm a partner in a title company.
Okay. If you could run down through all the 1,000 things that you're doing real quick.
Yeah. So I
because you're very versatile. I love that about you.
I'm a partner in a title company. I'm a partner in a real estate brokerage. I'm partnered in our podcast with Owen. I own the Real Estate Investors Association, and then I have Cash Money Properties, which is my holdings, and I do my flips and cash money investing.
How many properties do you have nowadays?
So I've been selling everything right now.
Okay. So it's not a good time to ask.
No, I'm doing it.
It's such a rookie question, by the way.
I'm doing the plan.
Okay.
So there's a reason why I'm selling.
And I would love to hear that real quick, because just the whole door count, like it's just a rookie question, I think nowadays, but I do it still because I think it fires up the newbies, right? Like if there's somebody listening out there that hasn't done one deal, maybe they have one deal already, it just fires them up to know what's possible. So what was the most you had at one point?
19.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Right now I have 7 Airbnbs still running.
Okay.
I have,
So you're selling. Why are you selling? What's your plan?
Yeah, so the overregulation, the interest rates. I'm using the cash. I'm putting it into assets where I don't have to deal with tenants. So I invest in the title, invest in the real estate company.
Oh, okay. Smart.
I have a car wash under contract
Like
right
it's
now.
still real estate, is just a different form.
And those checks just come in.
Yeah, yeah.
And then now the car wash is a new avenue for me, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm not buying stuff in the city. I'm buying stuff outside of the city.
How many are you gonna do, or is it just the one right now? Like, what's your goal on that?
My goal would be at least 5 self car washes in small towns that are not in the city. Because generally there's a 2 or 4 bay car wash in every city or every town.
I invested in Rocket Car Wash actually. And it was just at an invest, like it's, nothing crazy. But the cool thing is I was already a fan, we'll say. Like I had my membership, I had my cars there, and so now I got like a lifetime membership. It's pretty sweet. So if you need a partner, let me know.
You're on a dirt road, so you need it.
Yeah, seriously, especially now. Yeah. But it's funny because I used it as reflecting too. It's so crazy because that car wash, it was like very easy. They sold me on emotion really when I invested. Because when I first joined it, it was like I remember like, oh man, like there's these levels when you start, and you're gonna understand me. Like you start getting into certain levels, or you're still scared. Like as you grow financially, oh, I'm gonna pay this much. Like right, actually, I'm gonna tell you another. I bought a membership for like salads. I don't know, like Ruby Tuesday has it, which better get I'm not getting paid for this, but
I get factor meals. So the same.
Yeah. So what's cool is Ruby Tuesday has like you pay a membership every month, and then you go, a couple times a day if you wanted to, like whenever. They give you like a certain hours, but it's kind of cool when you're on the go, and they have the salad bar set up. You don't have to come home and cut all the veggies or nothing. So, anyways, when you pay these memberships, there's still this like fear for where you come from, right? Because you didn't have that, right? Like I remember. And even like a cell phone, like, oh, it's gonna be $5 more for that. No, I don't want it, right? Like, so that was the whole car wash thing for me. Like getting that membership was big at that time because I remember I couldn't afford the quarter, car washes, or I had to hurry up before the time ran out. But it's crazy. And go ahead and give me the list real quick because I want to ask you a couple questions off of that. Or I guess the car wash, is that your latest?
That's the first thing. Like I said, my goal is to get about 5 of them. I want to brand them. I got some ideas with doing like a truck, because in these small towns, big trucks, muddy trucks, right? So I want to have a truck bay. I want to have a car bay. The car bay is going to have the triple foam, the blower, and it's going to be the cleaner bay.
Especially the truck one, dude. That's awesome.
I want to do some diamond lighting in the ceilings, just to step it up a little bit, and then put some vending in there. And so the first one I'm against just a 3 bay. And gonna test it out, make sure it's for me. And then I'm gonna start looking to expand it. It's amazing. You gotta be careful though, because there's a lot of cash coming in. 45% of this is cash. We're talking like 5-gallon buckets a month of quarters. So, and you got to think about that. But if I don't put that in the bank account, then my property doesn't have value when it comes to sell. So you might be thinking, oh, it's all cash, pocket that. And a lot of people are doing that. But it can really screw you on the value of the property. Or
just your portfolio in general, right? Because you want to show that to grow another thing. So what, out of all the things that you do, Ted, like how do you handle stress? You're like, I don't.
So I've been going to the gym for about 10 years.
Okay.
And I've really taken it a lot more serious the last 2. I've always gone like 5 times a week, but
what do you mean by serious? You got a trainer or
no?
That's the next level.
I do have a business coach, but as far as this, no, I don't have a trainer. My wife does, and so she gives me a lot of tips too, which is kind of fun. And I've now discovered that I like to go at 4:45 in the morning. I like to sit in the sauna beforehand, and while I'm in the sauna, I write all my notes out for the day. So I have on my notes on my iPhone.
What time is this when you do this?
About 5:15 in the morning.
Okay.
So I do about 15 minutes before and after a workout. That helps me kind of like just focus, get set, write my goals out, and I won't leave the gym until my goals are written out for the day. So if you look at my phone right now, It's everything I need to do today. It's everything I need to do this week. It's everything I need to do this month. And I also have my vision board goals in there for my year in there also. And I check them as I'm completing them each day. And and I really will break it down to even like the simplest tasks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, did I have a protein shake today?
Yeah.
You know, did I take my vitamins today? So like, example, man, today's goals. You know, I gotta give notices to my tenants.
Yeah.
I want to do a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I need to check my Airbnbs.
Yep.
Did I do my daily inspiration to my people?
Yep. I don't see the $1 Million Hustle in there.
Yeah.
I'm just
But that's in my calendar.
Oh, there you go.
I got my weekly goals. You know? I just opened up a TikTok, so I'm gonna do 5 TikToks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish. I'm writing a book. It's gonna be finished this week.
That's awesome.
You know, my monthly goals. I'm doing a full day real estate conference in January, and it's all about fix and flips. Omaha, yep. And so we've been doing those lately. And my year goals. I want my REIA is at 440 members. I want 500 members.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna sell that property.
And you mentioned having a business coach. So I do some coaching as well. And shout out to the people that have taken I'll call it the risk, but really, you know, when you see what they've done after, it's just amazing. Like it honestly, like, and I'm not saying, you know, it's all because of me or whatever. I just think you need that
You do.
partner, right? We'll call it. And yes, your wife is awesome. Like my wife has been my success partner for sure, but you need that other third person view, we'll call it, right? And you know, it's amazing what it does. What are some stuff that has helped you along the way? Because I have my mastermind, you know, shout out to all the people in the mastermind. I keep it small too. I try to at least make it more personal.
Did you
Everybody talks?
I know you are sold out. Did you open that up now?
Yeah, I actually have one spot right now, actually, that I want to get somebody in there for. But normally I try to keep it below 10 people, honestly. And my other thought is, can I grow that, you know, as a business, more of a business, get more into it? But I just enjoy it. I love doing it. And honestly, the best thing is seeing the people's results. Like we have people that have hit their company has gotten to $1 million, you know, above now, a couple million in there, like it. And it's all just the community, really. Again, going back to what we said earlier, is having the new friends, right? Quote unquote, like that you can be like, oh man, you know what? X person has gone through this. Let me call them, or, you know, whatever. So, and honestly, we probably have a good $1 million just floating in that group itself of different things. Like the thing is, there's a fee, and you can relate to this. There's a fee because if you just do it for free, they're probably not going to show up to the meetings. You know,
guess who else won't show up?
Yeah.
You. Time is money.
Yeah.
Especially the more successful you get.
Yeah.
You have to charge for that.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're cheating the people in your group too.
Yeah. So true. I love that. So true. So I know the importance of coaching, right? Like it's I've had my own coach, like, you know, I've been in masterminds, and I can tell you that even just going to a conference, like you go and you come back like ready to crush, you know, your next goals.
Yep. In the conferences, you got to be careful with them because there's so many people go and they get the hype.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, go to the conference with one goal. You know, what's the one reason you want to go to that?
Yeah.
And do not let yourself leave without accomplishing that.
Yeah.
Like
that. And you know what I say too, which kind of like I can add it to that is, come back with like that one quote that you're gonna build off of, you know what I mean? Or that made a difference, that put fire in you, you know? And so essentially you go with purpose, you know?
You know, the one thing I loved, I went to a conference in New Orleans, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, and it was all the real REIA owners around the country, and they had a keynote speaker, and it was all about finding out, like, you know, what you're all about, what you're trying to do, but he started it off. He said, go to the person next to you, make sure you don't know them, and tell them your life story in 60 seconds. We put a timer on there, and so you know, I told my life story in 60 seconds. He told his life story in 60 seconds, and I got. Those conversations would never come out.
Right. Yeah.
And it opened up hours of talking after that.
Yeah.
I did that probably about 40 times in that 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
With people I met.
That's awesome.
3 in the morning, I'm still doing it in the lobby with people.
That's awesome. I love that.
And then fun part is in my podcast, we have like 5 questions we ask everybody throughout the podcast.
Yeah.
And they didn't know me or my podcast.
Yeah.
So they didn't know I was asking those questions. And then I was like, okay, I got 5 questions and we're gonna go through. And then everybody in the circle started doing it. And the circle started getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I got to know some people in a whole nother level. Also got a lot of future podcast guests.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, I love that. What's like one quote that stands out from your podcast that you heard that kind of, since we're on the subject of like a life-changing quote? Or just not even a quote, just something, an advice we'll say, or something that you heard from somebody in your own podcast.
Yeah, the fun part is that I think you probably get this too when you're doing a podcast or around a lot of successful people. A lot of times you're so excited about what somebody's doing every time. You're like, you want to do that. And as an entrepreneur,
that's true.
You're like, oh,
like right now, I'm like, I'm gonna go open a car right now.
I can do
Yeah. That's awesome.
You know,
that's true.
You know, and
it opens your mind.
Yeah. And my mind's been opened up on, like, it started off with Airbnbs. Airbnbs happened because podcasts, and really like ignited me and wanted to do more. Right.
Yeah.
But, storage units, we had a guy named Fernando Angelucci, 34 years old from Brazil. And the guy's got $700 million in storage. And he's done it in 10 years. And it's changed his life. I'm like, man, I
got a question for you, Ted, because since you kind of brought that up, I get this shit a lot, by the way. So I'm like asking it for myself. I just want to hear your answer. You always hear like, do the one thing, Ted. What the fuck are you doing with all these 20 things, right? What's your answer to those people?
I did an interview with a gentleman named Ben Cat, the most interesting person in the world. And you meet that guy, and you're like, I do Airbnbs. He's like, I do Airbnbs. And he won't talk about anything else. But then little, he's got bars and restaurants and commercial and building apartment complexes and 800 single families and 150 Airbnbs and RV parks and storage. And I'm like, dude, what about the one thing? I just had this conversation last week.
I love it.
And he's like, it excites me to do everything, and I like to create the systems around it and bring the right people in to run those things. So why am I going to say no to an opportunity?
Because there's people that are very strict with that. I'm sure you've dealt with that, right? Like even in your podcast.
Each person's different.
Yeah. Whatever works for everybody. My argument has always been like, and I'm going to say it here because I do hear that a lot, like, oh, he does this and he does that. Like essentially, guys, if you look at it too, I'm a real estate person. Like the title company is real estate, right? Like, so there's that. But let's look at like Apple, for example. They started as a freaking computer company, and now they're fucking doing Apple TV. They're doing they changed the music industry for good or bad, whatever. But as a musician myself, but they do health, right? Like they have all these different things, and let's not forget they became an iPhone company. Like, anyways,
it's a lifestyle company.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's my thing is like
we grow.
Yeah, we grow. We have to. Like, I also think that I'm gonna tell you right now, like that construction company right now with the cold, it slowed down a little bit on the exterior stuff, right? And it happens. Like I already know from my company's it just turned 10 years, so like I know every winter, So guess what? While that's happening, you know what? My lending company's killing it right now, right? Some rentals right now are maybe not, I'm not fully booked on my rentals right now, but the lending company took off.
Yes.
There's times where the lending company's not doing the best numbers, but my construction company. So like what I'm saying is my kids are going to eat. Like we're going to eat. Like that's the goal is you have to diversify your portfolio because it's up and down. And that's where I just don't get where people have, and I think also since that book came out, I think people they like took it in their own route of that.
You mean this is a business card?
Yeah.
This is a business
card.
and
I'm talking about the one thing.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about your book.
Yeah. Well, promote that.
That's
the one. I feel like since the book, the one thing came out,
it's a great book.
People forget though that it's like it doesn't mean do that forever and like get stuck there. I think it means with me, I'm going to tell you, like when I got into the construction company, I focused on that, right? Like you said, like some systems, the people, when I did lending, when I start, like, it doesn't mean that you're going to start 10 businesses in 1 month. Like I think that's where people get it confused too. It's
Totally.
like let's grow that business to where it runs as best as possible because uh, another thing that I'm gonna crush right now is like you always hear like, oh, grow your businesses to where you're not dealing with it. You still deal with stuff. Like even if you have even the construction company, like I have my guys, my crew leaders and all that, I still hear about it. You know what I mean? And I think let's get that mentality out of the way. Like, yes, can you build it to a point where you step out of it, but you're still gonna hear from your management?
I mean,
Am I crazy right now?
no,
Am I crazy on the cigar or
no, the most successful people I've talked to, have said that they have the leaders in each one of their companies, and they might have 20, 50, 100 different things going on,
Mhm.
right? But and then those managers of them, as you grow bigger, go up to your more district managers, right? So,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
then, but as a good owner, you should be, at least in the interviews I've done and people I've talked to, they sit in a room on one day a week
Yeah.
or Zoom,
Yep.
and they meet with all those top leaders.
Which is still time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
You
you're
got to be
still
involved.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think people have this thing. I don't know if it's YouTube or what it is, but people have this thing of like, oh, I'm not gonna. I
But
I own this company, but I don't do nothing. It's like you do something. Like,
but that and I think that's just maybe a stage in their life,
yeah. True. That's true.
because
Yeah,
they probably won't be saying that in a year or two.
yeah. That's true.
Things
That's
change,
true.
economy changes.
Yeah, yeah.
Economy changes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know we were just talking about fair about just the economy. What are some things that that are happening right now that you could throw out there?
well, I'm a well, things change, right? So at one point, my most successful income, thing I was doing was being a realtor.
Mm.
Was a broker at one point. Now I'm a recovering broker, and at one point, I mean, at my peak, I was making about $250,000 doing just real estate sales.
Mm.
I was killing it. And now, I might clear 60 or 80,000 in that business. It isn't my main focus. That's one part of that. But I brought in my mom. My mom does my real estate leads now, so I give her all my leads. So I'm still involved with it.
Yeah,
And I still have the communications with my client list.
yeah.
But she's the one that's handling everything on it.
I love
and
that.
we have a partnership worked out there. And but kind of things, economy and change. If you have a 2 to 3, 4% rate on your home, I think mine's at like, I don't know if I'm at 2.1 or 3.1, but I'm low.
Wow.
And I want to move. But my house is doubled in value.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, my payment is so low.
yeah, yeah.
If I can go move, pay triple the amount of money that I'm paying now, that money can go to other resources to make more money.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't you hate that though?
Oh.
It's like you get attached to that, like it's just gonna make me money, asset or liability, right?
We used to,
But there's cool ways to mix it too, by
Yeah.
the way, right? Like, actually, I'm gonna, I'm not an accountant, but like, I just ordered a $1 million hustle chain. Well, guess what? Like, it's my business logo, so it's a tax write-off. It's diamonds, and I'm excited. I haven't gotten it yet, but for my music stuff, and
Megan Ahern.
Yeah.
Tatty investor.
Yep.
Well, she can write off all her tattoos
Yeah, dude, yeah.
because she's the tatty
That's
investor.
awesome. Yeah. I love that. And I think
I loved it when she
let's
told me
get
that.
creative. Yeah, seriously. No, I love that. Let's get creative with those things, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's what I'm saying is that's the beauty of this work, of this business world, right? Like one of my biggest goals is buy a Lambo. I have it right there. You could see it right there, like the green Lambo. It's actually Legos, which is pretty cool. But there's different ways that I've talked to my accountant that we could work that out.
Yeah.
But again, assets, liabilities, like I would say, in the long run, it does make you more money. Essentially. But anyways, you get caught up in that mindset of like, is this gonna make me money? And I just felt that because that's how I am too.
I feel it because I have a dream car, and it was a realistic car, and it was a Saline Mustang I wanted. And it was on the back of my computer screen. It's on my vision board. Opportunity came up. I bought it on Bring a Trailer, flew out to San Francisco, drove it back, bought it with my investing company because I didn't plan to hold it.
Yeah.
I fixed it up. I put some miles on it over the summer.
Yep.
Had some fun with it.
Enjoyed it. Yep.
And then my company
That's
sold
awesome.
it, and that was a flip,
That's awesome.
right?
Man.
And it wasn't like a huge thing. I made like 12 grand.
Yeah.
But I got to have my dream car for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
No, I love that. Or like even with music videos, since I do music videos, you go to an event and you do like I actually went to the Crawford fight to go record a music video.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like like those are the
He's on my dream list, by the way.
oh my God, yeah.
The interview.
Let's make a pact. Like let's bring him to a little tour. If I get him or you get him.
I've done lunch with him a few times.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to dance in my charity.
Oh.
And then he went through all the dancing. It was 2 weeks before the show. He's like,
awesome.
he's like, I got to cancel on you guys. I'm like, why? He's like, I had a fight come up. I got to put my time in the training now. And we're so bummed out.
That's awesome.
But I got to know him a little bit. I don't know him. Like if I saw him, he probably wouldn't recognize me because now that's been over a decade.
Yeah.
But
still though,
I put it out to a few people. I'm like, hey, because he's buying a ton of real estate.
I saw that. I saw that.
He's buying big buildings downtown.
And I'm surprised that I'm sure one way or another, it's gonna, if it hasn't happened yet in Omaha, he's gonna tap into your community or the people that we know somehow.
He has some big agent out of California that specializes working with boxers. And that's their niche. That's that agent's one thing. And then they work with local agents to be a partner. To find the deals. And so there's I think Spencer Goldberg is a local guy finding all the stuff for him. And he's buying a ton of stuff.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, man, I could keep you here forever, man, but we have to wrap it up. You have to go buy 10 more businesses out there.
We'll be right back. Before we continue, go subscribe to Billy the Kid YouTube. That is Billy, DHAKID. Also, go follow Billy the Kid Music on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, and everywhere else music is available. And now, back to this great episode. Let's go.
Hopping out the nowhere, number 2-4. Feel like Kobe, though I'm winning, need to do more. My mama sorry, college wasn't for me. Street smart, no degree, just like Kobe. Self-made boss with a suit like a mogul. I'm the new era. You see it on my.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions at the end of the show. The first one is the $1 Million Hustle is the person you become, the habits that you do right. So what are like 3 habits, 3 things that you would tell somebody out there that, hey, if you do these 3 things, you're not going to fail. You're going to be successful. You're going to get on your $1 Million Hustle.
Yeah. You need to have a strong family, because if a family doesn't believe in you, back you up, then what are you doing? I mean, if you don't have kids, it could be your spouse, and if you don't have a spouse, you got to find out. Everybody has a family of some sort, and you got to support them. They need to support you. You need to have that love. You got to have faith in what you're doing. You got to have faith in God. Maybe it is whatever your God is. You got to have faith.
How much has God done for you?
I was going down a crazy path in high school. Drugs, so on, so on, so on. But my grandma took me to church every Sunday. And I always went to the youth group. At one point in my senior year, I was elected as the representative of my youth group my senior year. Didn't ask to be elected, didn't run for it. And then I took that really serious. I was also really shocked. It's the first time I've ever been picked for something like that. Life didn't change immediately. But it played a role in me. And to this day now, I got my kids going through confirmation. I want them involved in that. That was impactful for me, and that changed a lot of things. And we pray every night. We pray at dinner.
I go as far as saying I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for that.
So
I just wanted to hear that real quick, because I'm wearing my rosary right now. Like this rosary I've had since I was like 14 or something, and it came off, and I'll fix it. I feel like He's with me. So I just wanted to hear that.
I could be a stronger Christian.
We all can. We all can, for sure.
And I could be more involved.
And I can't stand, there's people out there that judge that too. Like, oh, you're smoking a cigar, anyways.
It doesn't matter. It's all
like, did we forget, hey, no judgment, right?
I don't.
We all can be, though. We all can be.
Yeah. We're all unique in our own way. I'm not gonna push my politics. And I'm not going to put my religion on you.
Exactly.
I keep that pretty close to the vest.
And what's the third one? What's the third?
Body. Like, you got to take care of yourself. Like, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're going to be weak, tired, non-motivated. And I've really realized that recently. I've done a lot of looking into myself and working out, what I eat. The community it also creates at the gym is nice. I've actually gotten a lot of business out of the gym.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So those are the things that I've really been focusing on lately to try to make myself better.
And what's happiness, Ted?
Well, happiness is when my wife's happy.
Yeah.
Because my life is a lot easier. Happiness is being comfortable, not having to worry about the light bill, not having to worry about, the car payments. I don't need to be a multimillionaire. I'd love to be, but I need to be able to make sure that my kids are taken care of, my life is taken care of, that, I can get what I need to, I can take the vacations I need to. That's happiness for me.
Yeah, I love that.
And I do think that wealth will naturally come out of that.
Yeah.
And community, my big part of my why is community. I love being involved in my community. I love getting back to community. Maybe it's working charity events. I've chaperoned over 20 trips for my church youth over the years. I host in-person meetups. And when I'm sitting in front of that group and I see 150 people in a room, I get to this day, after doing this for 5 years, I still get tingles.
Yeah, yeah.
And I joined the Toastmasters so I can be better at that.
I love that. Yeah.
So I say I love
leadership
back.
Right there, bro.
So,
I love that, man. That, like, trying to get better. Honestly, it's crazy because even like the coaching, yeah, don't get me wrong, money's good. Like, but one thing I've learned too. I remember at one point in my life, and I would say more on the music side, like my mindset was like, I'm gonna get rich, right? Like I'm gonna money, right? Like, but then you realize like the more you do that, the less it comes, or harder, I should say. It comes, but it's like slower, harder. But then when you kind of open that mindset of like, no, you know what? I'm gonna do what I love, what I enjoy, and also real estate is a big part of that, right? Like it gives you that freedom. But I think that money comes when you stop looking for it. It's weird. You become a money magnet. Honestly, that's been kind of, so I love that approach that you have, because I think that's why you are where you're at, and that's where you're heading.
I think if you really boil down to 3 words to represent the 3 things that you just mentioned, it's mind, body, soul. And I think it's overused a lot, but I repeat that a lot in my head. I'm like, what am I doing for my mind to make me smarter and make sure that
So true.
My mind is where it needs to be, my body and my soul. I think those
So
are
true, man. I love that.
If you're following those three principles in everything you do, is this benefit my mind, my body, and my soul? I think that you make the right decisions.
I love it. Love it. What would you tell your younger self, looking back at that teenage, right, that was reckless and all that?
When my teenage self thought I was going to go down the road and get in politics and be, who knows where that would have taken me. And then it's funny, I had somebody fly in, I'm not going to say which party, but flew in to try to get me into politics. And flew in from Washington, spent 3 days with me to try to get me in. And one thing
This was when you were a teen?
No, this is recently.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, as a teen, I was like, I always thought this was a route. I was like, I'm gonna get in the Marines. Then I'm gonna go work for the FBI, and then I'm gonna take it this way.
Move up. Yeah.
I thought this was gonna be, but I made the wrong decisions in those years to be able to make that, because when this guy came to me, he goes, want to get me in politics? He goes, first thing he asked, he goes, how many contacts do you have on your phone? And I was like, looked it up, and it was like 8,600 contacts. And
That's an interesting question.
And he goes, the average person has like 400. He goes, each one of those people on your phone is 3 votes. And yeah, he was trying to get me in Congress and stuff. And I was like, man, I got so much baggage in my younger years doing the nightlife industry. A lot of it's documented. And I go, I don't need that coming out. I don't need my family. And plus, you see, I mean, look at all these assassinations going on both sides right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure glad I didn't go down the road.
Crazy other industry, we'll call it.
Yeah. I would have told myself you can get into real estate without doing all these sales jobs. That you probably don't need to worry about college, because it wasn't for me. I hate school. And I would have told myself to drink less, party less, and focus earlier. I think if I was just partying and drinking so much in my 20s and teens up to the 20s. I think that if I didn't spend all that money on that and cars, I probably would be in a whole.
It leads to my next question, Ted. What's your biggest regret?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It's easy to say, oh, no regrets, but we all have them. We're human.
Yeah. It was probably it was the partying and drinking. You know, because I just feel like if I would have started earlier, you know Tucker Pinion here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Have you seen how much success he's had?
Oh, dude. Yeah.
100
I need
something.
to get him on here.
24
Actually.
years old, has 100 something units, and he
Yeah.
just started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting
Insane.
here, and I'm like, I could have been him.
Yeah.
You know, and I was never. That was one of the most mind blowing podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should have.
I watched it. I watched that one. Yeah. I watched that one. Yep. Yep.
And we're actually going to have him we're doing a fix and flip mastermind January 16th, and he's one of our speakers.
That's awesome. No, he's a beast. Actually, we just did a deal together, like more on the lending side or whatever. And he texted me this morning actually at 4 a.m. Come on, Tucker.
one of the
Not surprised though. He's
one
like
of the
killer.
most impressive young men
seriously.
I've ever met.
Seriously,
Ever met.
I agree. He is like it makes you reflect, right? Like you just did.
Owen and I were in that interview, and our jaws were on the ground.
Yeah.
With the amount of knowledge he had.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's thinking, that kid is gonna be a billionaire.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how he isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree. And then I have a quick segment as Billy. I know we talked a little bit about kind of asking me like, what's one question you have for me?
Yeah.
And I just do this because it opens it up. Like we'll wrap it up with this.
So we talked a lot about coaching. I hired a national coach called his name's Jason Dries.
Okay.
And he's pushing me above and beyond to try to create a coaching program. And I told him up front, I go, I'm not a coach. I'm not a guru. It's not, it doesn't even turn me on. I go, but out of that conversation with him, it came to discover I'm a connector. I'm a master connector. I bring community together. And he's like, well, why don't you do a group, and instead of being the coach or guru, listen to your people because you're really good at that, and then use your connections on a national and local scale to bring in the right people to speak to your group. So that's really what I love that. That's really what I'm toying with right now, and that's my January 1st goal.
Yeah, I love that.
We're gonna have some relaunching of our local group here, and do some circles and other things. So I'm excited to launch that here soon. But I guess as a coach, bringing people together, I'd love to learn more about your program. Yeah. Where you see success. Do you see yourself as a coach, or are you bringing people to connect, and how are you educating your people?
That's a great question. And I think not overthinking it. I think, let's see, my biggest thing has and will always be, because even like the coach that I've had, it's like proof in the pudding, right? Like, because there is a lot of gurus out there. There is a lot of gurus, and
some of them are getting sued.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, and honestly, good. Yeah. Because you can't just go out and take people's money and then you haven't even done the stuff that that happens locally and nationally. There's stuff that people will try to make it seem like so I think the experience has to be there. I think that's the biggest thing is know stuff, right? Like know the information. And if you don't know, I like to use the Henry Ford thing, right? Like, oh, but I know somebody that does, right? Because that's how I built my stuff that I've done, right? So
the connector.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. That's where that is a magic
thing.
The
podcast does that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So I think also, Ted, don't overthink it. I think that's another thing. Don't overthink it.
I struggle with that.
Yeah. No. And I think, the biggest thing you could do for yourself is make decisions fast, because that's the business that we're in, is like, you have to make decisions fast. I would say the thing with me though, is that.
So my wife holds that back because she wants me to think it out farther, put a full plan together.
And that's the thing.
And I just want to go.
Yeah. The best things that have ever came for me have been on the fly. Like that book was on the fly. I wrote it like in one night, most of it. And then I did the touch-ups that week, and I put it out. Like I'm pretty sure you probably find some misspelling or something. I don't know, but I just put it out. I think taking action, right? Like taking that imperfect action, and then you perfect it as you go.
So I told you I'm writing a book right now.
Oh,
And I use
and that was my next question, by the way.
I used AI.
Oh.
So there's a book writing GPT. but I got about 90 hours of talking into it to the point where I've used up all the memory.
I love that. No, and I love that because there's people that are like, hey, write me a book, and then they'll just put it out like the next day.
Yeah. So I've got about 6 months into this, and it's all about the power of creating a networking group. How to make
like a community.
Yeah.
I like
not
that.
in real estate. I use my
Just in general,
I use mine as references. How to vet your vendors, how to vet your speakers, how to create income, how to create consistency, and going through all those details. It's about 25 chapters. It is all detailed out now, and I'm just finishing up the credits. So, and
that's awesome, man. I love it.
And there's a local speaker, which was actually the best speaker I've ever seen speak. One of the top three, for sure. His name was Jeff Cohn. He came.
Yeah.
His presentation was money, right? It was precise. It flowed with his slides, and he didn't even have to look at a script. It was just, and it was great. And like everybody even said that was probably the best speech I've ever seen. I see him speak numerous times, and I never see him speak like that. So I talked to him. I'm like, hey, I go, tell me about that. And he's like, well, he goes, I went to a speechwriter and had my story, wrote it with a speechwriter. And then he goes, there's segments in the speech that we went ahead and I replace it with each city I'm in, stats, what's going on, so on and so on. And then he goes, and then the slides also were made by a professional marketing company to match the speech. And this is getting somewhere. And then he goes, and then there's certain slides that come out that match the segments that are taken out to match the city I'm in. He goes, I've been giving the same speech for 4 years, I think he said at the time. He goes, I know it. He goes, I've done this 80 times. And says he's getting $20,000 to $40,000 to do those speeches now. Wow. He goes, and it doesn't matter if I'm coming back in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Most of the room changes every time. And nobody remembers word for word what you said. He goes, I do have the same speech every time. So I'm doing the Toastmasters. I got the book coming out. I'm going to create a speech with a speechwriter that matches my book.
I love that.
And then I'm going to match the slides with them and do exactly what he said. I'm going to rehearse it so many times that I know it by heart. Yeah. So that when I'm asked to speak, hopefully on a national scale, using knowledge I'm getting from Toastmasters too, that I can actually be a rock star at this. And I asked my Toastmaster group the other day, and I go, shout out to Ryan Miller for hooking me up. And I go, can I put this together and be able to give this speech to this? And this is what this is for.
I love that. I love it, man. So, love it.
Find your thing. Yeah. Create something on it. Yeah. And be known for it. Yeah. And then if you're in a group, it doesn't have to be real estate, but highly recommend you guys create a networking group because you will become the go-to person for that category. Yeah. If you have a construction company, get all the construction owners together. You know, if you have a title company, get title people together. You guys will create community and all grow together. Yeah. Whatever your niche is, you should have a group for it. And there is a community for it. And there's maybe no group in your community for that. Yeah. But it's needed. Yeah. No. Love it. Love it. Where can people find you? Yeah. Go to Ted Kaasch, KAASCH.com. You'll find the links to everything we do. And our podcast is REIA Radio. Billy's been on there. Yep. And it was a great podcast we did back in the original studio. Yeah. We need to redo another one, man. Yes, we do. You guys have really, everything that you guys do is amazing. Like, you guys have taken it to this next level. And I just want to give you your flowers for that because it's the funnest thing I do. Yeah. And you could tell. And you could tell, you know, I think that's the nature of it is like, if you're having fun doing what you love, man, like keep doing it. You know, it's like with the music stuff, that's my thing. You know, I record, and what the thing is, again, whether people like it or not, I like it. It's my therapy, and I do have people that love it, right? Like there's a lot of people that love it too. So do what you love, and it won't feel like you work, man. So thank you so much for coming out, bro. Anything else that I didn't ask you about that you want to talk about real quick? No, I think we hit most of it. I'm excited about the future, excited about selling some stuff off, excited about this next stage of life. And next year, it'll be a totally different story. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Make sure you guys subscribe. Go to YouTube. Look up Billy the Kid or $1 Million Hustle. Subscribe to Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen.
And I'll see you in the next one, baby. Vamonos.
Deeper than the scars, deeper than my past. I found peace in the pain and stopped looking for applause. See deeper than the streams, this is deeper than all them stats. They watching the analytics while I'm watching how it impacts. They wanted cloud, I wanted clarity, I'm moving with some peace. I stopped chasing the numbers, now my soul volume increased. You used to pay for the cars and clothes, now I'm praying for peace. Cause the things that I lost made the man now that you see. While you're growing as a person, you need to shut it and listen. I had to silence my ego just so I can hear my own wisdom. Ain't no handouts over here, I'm creating my own route. Built a kingdom for all them doubts they were speaking about.